Hello, this is Bonnie at Good Earth Spa, and first I want to show you a new product from Essential Depot, and then I'm going to go into making a soap kit. The new thing that is from Essential Depot are these baskets. These metal baskets fit your soap molds exactly. Now before I recommended you put them in the box so that when you filled them up they wouldn't bow. The molds are actually very thick, but they're just not reinforced, so this really helps a lot. Since this is metal, it can also go into the oven for your CPOP soaps. That's cold process, oven process, if you're using that method. Also, these are great for regular CP soap, and they're also a great space saver. So let me get that in there. I want to show you how they stack. So you take your one, you have this part up here, which is this part, and it hooks right into this part down here. It goes right between them, and it stays like that. So that way when you stack them up, you can see that they're not just sitting on each other, so they're not going to fall over. They're hooked in there really well. So that is the soap basket. These are sold separately from the soap molds and the soap kits. But you can buy them separately, or you cannot buy them. If you don't want to buy them, you can just use the box that the soap mold comes in. The soap mold or the soap kit or the soap base. They sell a few different products that come with the soap mold. And this size box right here will obviously fit the mold exactly. So what I recommended in the last soap kit video was just to make your soap right in the box. That way you have a lid and you can put a towel over it to insulate it. And then there you go. So I'm going to use the basket today, and I'm going to be making the Bonnie's Triple Butter Soap Kit. Bonnie, that's me. And I'm going to be doing a little bit of a swirl today. We need to have some gloves and some goggles on. Safety always comes first. And I love my little pink gloves that I got at Walgreens. They have purple ones now, but I have pink ones right now. Okay, so safety first. Anyone can make soap at home. You don't have to be a professional like me. You can be just anybody. Anybody can do this at home. So you can check the links out that I'm going to post below the video in the About tab. So go ahead and check there. You'll find a link. You'll be able to click over and view all of the details, prices, and everything else. When your oils come, depending on the temperature outside, last time I did my video, it was winter time, and the oils were pretty solid. But this time, it's not. It's summer and it's warm and oh, we're all sweating and everything like that. So, last time I showed you the butters, they were kind of packed a little bit different. They come in these little 2-ounce bars now. So the first thing I want to do is I want to start mixing my lye solution. There is no scale required for this kit. You don't need to weigh anything. Normally in soap making, you need to weigh everything. But it's all been weighed for you, and it makes it really, really easy and fast. So, about 1.5 cups of water. That's 12 ounces about. You could be a hair over or under and it won't make a big difference. Your kit comes with a 5-ounce bottle of lye. That's sodium hydroxide lye. Sodium hydroxide is for bar soaps. Now, if you were doing multiple batches at once, which you could, if you, for example, you have 3 soap kits, it's totally okay for you to mix them all up together and make it all at once. But I'm making one right now, so just one. But you could do that. If you were making a larger batch like that, there are some fumes, or perhaps if you have asthma or any other type of breathing issue, you may want to just, put on a mask. I'm not going to put on the mask because it's a small batch. There's only going to be a little tiny bit of fumes, and I want you to be able to hear me, so I'm not going to use this. Okay, but I am not going to put my head right over it. I'm not going to mix it like this. I'm going to just let it mix a little bit farther away from me. Just go ahead and you always add the sodium hydroxide to the water. You don't add the water to the sodium hydroxide. It's very important because you don't want any volcano effects. In fact, you can even get down lower if you don't want the fumes to rise. Because if you're lower, then you're not going to breathe in the fumes. If you do breathe in the fumes, it might make you cough. So you might want to just mix it intermittently, walk away, and then come back. It will be cloudy to start, and then it will go clear. So be sure that you mix it all the way. It's very important that your solution becomes clear. Just going to set it right over here to the side on my little cabinet. This is my fragrance oil cabinet. I have it full of fragrance oils. Behind the camera I have my essential oil cabinet, so that they'll all be separate. Okay, so now I'm going to intermittently do that, let that do its thing, and go back and stir it from time to time. And real quick, I'm going to just make sure I open up all of the... I used to have a little knife here, but oh well. I'm going to open up these essential oil bottles so that they are ready to go here in a bit. If you spill lye on a surface or anything like that, is that vinegar will neutralize lye. So I like to keep a little bottle of vinegar nearby. So here, now I have my little oils opened. We have lemongrass oil and we have tea tree oil. The lemongrass oil has a little bit of a color. It's a little bit kind of yellowish colored, so I'm actually going to be swirling with the lemongrass color and then the tea tree. Now, if your oils are not already melted, then you could microwave this. After, of course, you take off the metal seal and make sure it's completely removed. Or, one way that I've heated this up is using a solar oven, which is great in the summertime. Another way that you could do this is you could use a crock pot, fill it up with water, you put it in, turn the crock pot on, you kind of walk away, and then when you notice it's all liquefied, then you're good to go. So I want to empty those oils. I probably should grab a spatula. This was my handcrafted Soap and Cosmetic Guild spatula from the soap conference. And we used these for voting. It was really fun and silly that, you know, we'd sit there and we'd raise our spatulas, so that was really fun. If you have a chance to attend the soap conference, you really, really should. And if you're interested in becoming a member, then send me a message because I can get you all the information that you need. Not only do we have soap makers that are members, also vendors are members, private labeling people are members. There's all different kinds of memberships available. So for the soap maker, it actually comes with your liability insurance policy at a great rate. So let me know if you want to be referred or if you have any other information. Now last time I melted these separately and added them after trace. It's not exactly necessary, and since I'm going to be splitting my batch, and you'll see later, I'm going to do them all together, so you can just go ahead and add all of your butters right into your main pot. I'm going to put this on the stove, let it all get melted down, and then we'll be ready to go. Do keep an eye on the temperature. Don't let it get way too hot. If you let it get too hot, it's going to cause problems later. An ideal temperature would be between 100 and 120 degrees, and I wouldn't vary much outside that. So I'm going to go ahead and put it here on the stove. Let's see, front one is this one. I'll put it on low, and I'll be stirring this and stirring this, getting them to temperature. I really love my non-contact thermometer because I can measure the oils and I can measure the lye without having to clean off a utensil. I don't have to use two separate thermometers, but if you have a candy thermometer, that's a great way. I suppose you might use a meat thermometer if the range is within that range, but I don't think that most of them are. A candy thermometer would be your best alternative. So I'll just stir this a little bit more. You can see it's not as cloudy, but it is still a little bit cloudy. Today I want to do a little bit of swirls. Swirls are fun, they're great to look at, so what I'm going to do is I'm going to use a little bit of titanium dioxide. Titanium dioxide is normally oil soluble, but you'll want to check with whoever you purchase your titanium dioxide from. I'll make sure and put a couple of different suppliers of titanium dioxide. Normally you can get it from any soap supply store. It's a natural white colorant. I'm just going to take a little bit from my oils, not a whole lot. You don't need to measure it, just eyeball it. A little bit from my melted oils. And then, this is about a teaspoon. Okay, move this out of the way. And then just go ahead and mix this up. Get it mixed in. And this will be our colorant for our lighter side. Here we have our oils, we have our lye, they're ready to go. Okay, so now comes the fun part. We're making soap. We're going to start mixing. So it's pretty easy. Ooh, that splashed. See, it's a good thing I have my goggles on. If you can see that, I have my goggles on. It almost splashed me. That's why you need your goggles on. This is my old stick blender. This is what I made in my very first soap making video. All my other ones break, and then this one it broke right here, but it's just a beast and it's lasting. I need to get another one though. And I love it because of its adjustable settings. I just can't find a Braun anymore. So I'm probably going to get one of those commercial ones. Okay, so now at this point you can see that the solution has become emulsified, which means it's mixed together. Alright, now what I'm going to do is I'm going to pour off about 1/3 of my soap. It doesn't have to be exact, you don't have to weigh or measure it, but pour off about 1/3. Probably have a little bit more. Yeah, that's about right. Okay, and we're going to take this titanium dioxide and our other part of our oil and mix it in. There's a little bit of clumps at the bottom that didn't get mixed in all the way, but most of it got mixed into the oil. So get it all in there. Now that there's more oil with it, it will mix a little bit better. Okay, the tea tree oil goes into the small one. And the lemongrass goes into the big one. Because see the color of the lemongrass? It's going to actually color the soap for us, enabling us to swirl naturally. So first I'm just going to mix up this one. Oop, got some bubbles. It's because it's pretty shallow. But I'll stir those bubbles out. And I love the smell of lemongrass. It reminds me of Fruit Loops. I don't know why I love it, because I don't really like Fruit Loops that much. But I like the smell. It's very, very citrusy and sweet. Also, lemongrass is a great starter essential oil for beginners because the essential oil doesn't cost a lot, it's affordable, it smells great, and it works great with soap. And then over here I'm getting these tea tree oil smells. I'm trying not to blend it too much. In fact, I'm going to turn my blender down a little bit so I don't get crazy bubbles. And now I'm just going to stir that up a little bit. You can already see that the colors are a little bit different. And it's all natural colorants too. It won't matter too much if you're switching back and forth from one to the other. And what I'm doing here is called an in the pot swirl. I'll show you here in just a second. So now I have one side that's kind of an orangey color. I have the other side that's kind of a white color. I want to be able to get this soap into this soap and make it swirl and pretty. So I'm going to pour it from high up and also from low down, so that, and then using my spatula to kind of break the fall of the soap so that some sits on bottom and some sits on the top. And then I want some to fall down to the bottom, and I want some to sit on the top. So that way both colors will be in the soap, but they won't be fully mixed together. So you'll be able to see some contrasting and just a delicate little swirl. Doesn't have to be perfect. Now the next part is pretty easy too, because you don't really need to do any kind of this, but I usually just run it through a little bit. When you pour, it's going to swirl it even more. So you'll see as I go. I'm going to, can you see what it looks like there? All right. So now you have your soap mold. If you don't have your baskets yet, then you just do this. Here's the box that your kit came in. Here's the mold. You just put it right in there like that. But since I have a basket, I'm gonna go ahead and use it. And I'm gonna go ahead and pour it into the molds. Okay. Okay, now I just like to tap it some to get those bubbles out. I see a couple of bubbles coming out. And if you want to play with the swirl, I mean, you can do that. So you can kind of mess around with it. I usually don't like to mess around with it too much, because then I start to become obsessed with what it looks like. So I'm not really going to do that, but you can texture the top and make the top look neat and unique and different. But that's it. I'm just gonna leave it like this. I'm not gonna put it in the oven for a CPOP or anything. My oven's actually full right now, but and then we'll see it and we'll be able to cut it and we'll see what it looks like tomorrow. Okay, welcome back. By the power of YouTube editing, we are now on day 2, so no waiting. Now we are going to get the soap unmolded and cut, and we're going to have a peek at what it looks like on the inside. Okay, first we have to get the soap mold out of the basket, which is pretty easy to do by just pressing up like so. Alright, now we have our soap, which you can see is all set up and solid now. And then just get it out of the mold, just kind of press like this to release it, and it should come out really easily for you. Okay, there we go. Now, this is the Essential Depot red soap cutter that you can get obviously at Essential Depot, so go ahead, and if you want the link for this and also links for where you can get that cool thermometer I showed you earlier, I'll make sure and post all of that stuff. Okay, so here we are getting ready to cut, and make sure that we have it lined up so that we get a slice off each end. That way all 11 of our bars, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, are the same size, and we don't have any end cuts. So There we go. And then I can show you how the inside looks. Just a subtle swirl, a subtle natural swirl. Ooh, I like this one. And it smells great. Very herbal, citrus, very pleasing aroma. So there we go. I had the air conditioner on and a fan, and I was trying to avoid the gel stage, and then my husband was in here and he turned off the air conditioner, so it got warm in here and my soap gelled. Oh well, it's still really, really great soap, and you can hardly tell, but you can see the circle right here where the inside gelled. And that doesn't really make any difference whatsoever. Your soap can gel, it cannot gel. Either way, you're gonna end up with a great bar of soap, so it's just a matter of personal preference. I really like this one too. So you can see that those swirls in there are subtle, but they're really elegant and eye-catching. So just one way to make your Bonnie's Triple Butter Soap Kit just a little bit different, a little bit unique. Alright, so that's it. Make sure to let your soap bars cure for between 4 to 6 weeks before you use them, and they'll be great. Thanks for watching. Bye bye.